And welcome to Whale Radio. That was Adele's Rolling in the Deep. I'm Caleb.
And Bill, and that's like tonight. I really wish that we had a video recording because we were booging pretty hard on that last one.
Oh, yeah. Love Adele.
Yeah.
I'm such an Adele nerd.
A deal, yeah.
All right, hey, welcome to the cool part of Whale Radio, or one of the cool parts, one of the many cool parts of Whale Radio.
Yeah, we're the cool part.
Well, we're the philosophical part, because that's what we are. We're a philosophy show.
The intellectual part. The unnamed philosophy show. Because I don't...
We do sort of have a name-ish.
What? Are you still going to stick with metalosophy?
No.
Okay, good, because that's kind of lame, and apparently we didn't get very good reception on that.
See, I had a friend whose idea was that for our logo, we can have the Thinker, the sculpture of the Thinker by Rodin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a whale, and it's got a little radio tower on top of its head, and it's broadcasting deep thoughts.
Wait,
and we'd be
a thinking broadcasting whale.
Mm-hmm. So like the Thinker, like the statue of the Thinker, but
Okay.
it's the whale, like for whale radio, and it's it's broadcasting. I think it's cool.
So what would the name be?
It'd probably be like a pun on whale, like while radio, or why, while. While does not work. I take that back. Tyler, your idea for that was terrible, but it's going
That doesn't
to be.
even qualify as a valid pun. That's just terrible. While nobody's gonna.
He tells bad puns. It's not his fault. I'm sorry, Tyler, but I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, Zeno's Paradox.
No.
That was clever.
No.
That was clever, and it
No.
actually worked. That was a valid pun.
No. There's no such thing as a valid pun.
Okay,
I'll
so-
be honest.
Okay, so we have a logo before we have a fan page, or really before even a fan base, and before we have a name.
Well, we do have a fan base. I mean, half of it is your family, and then the other
Right.
half of it is our group of friends.
All right.
It's only a matter of time. Somewhere out there,
And-
you listener out there, random listener we don't know.
You are one lucky listener.
You are.
Because
a
you just
listener.
happened to I don't know what compelled you to go to whaleradio.org while you're taking a break from studying, because let's be honest, you're not really studying right now, and you just happen to tune into us right now.
And if you are studying, well, good for you. You're better than us because we're not studying.
Right.
I mean, we should be, but I mean, hey.
Well, hey, we're still learning some. We're getting the brain juices going.
All right.
Yeah.
Bringing philosophy into your home and/or dorm
And/or time.
and/or computer or iPod.
Okay. Anyway, so do we have events to plug?
Yes, we do.
The debate.
The debate. We do have a debate that is coming up of some philosophical interest, I suppose. And it is a gentleman who will be coming to Grand Valley, and he will be putting on a debate in the Cook DeWitt Center. And the debate will be, does God exist? He'll be debating whether or not God exists. And actually, I will be moderating the debate.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, and who is speaking on each side?
It is Justin Schieber, who is a gentleman from Michigan who does these kind of debates on a regular basis. He is a member of the atheist movement. I'm sure you're familiar with members like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens while he was still alive.
Caleb, look up.
Yeah, I see them.
Okay.
It says
A levels.
Levels is there's someone outside our studio. The sign says play
Oh.
Levels.
Yeah, we have a fan base again. We have our fan club.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so maybe you're all right. I
Okay.
think our listenership has dropped by half.
Shoo away the little people. Oh, come on.
So the debate
Okay.
is going to be with Justin Schieber and Scott Smith, who is, I believe Scott Smith is a gentleman from campus, actually, and he's with the Cook DeWitt Center. So the two of them will be debating whether or not God exists. I'll moderate. It should be pretty fun.
And that is when?
It is on Saturday, October 27th, which is this Saturday, by the way.
What time?
It is at 7:30 p.m.
I work.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what you could go to
What could I go to?
Also on Saturday, there's Make a Difference Day.
Yeah, I work then too.
Really?
Yeah.
From 9 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, I work at noon. I work a lot, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
you listeners who are not working, you should go. There's still the chance to sign up. You can show up. If you show up at 9:30 on Saturday in the Grand River Room, which is the big room in Kirchhoff upstairs, you can sign up right there, and they will put a spot with you somewhere, and you'll go off and do service projects. That could be literally anything. You could do anything. It's surprise service. It'll be really cool. Get back to your fellow man. Like if we had a little soundbite there, we could put it there, and it could be,
We really gotta look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom. Yeah. Okay, so I kind of want to play this now. The greatest speech ever made, because it doesn't really fit in with what we're talking about later now. But later now, words.
Wait, the aesthetics bit?
No. Well, you know how I showed you the speech that I want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a. It doesn't really necessarily relate to what we're going to be talking about tonight. It doesn't necessarily relate to philosophy, but it's an amazing speech. It just hits you right in the soul, man. Right in the feels.
All right, whatever. Next time around, we're playing Spiro Agnow's education speech, though.
All right, fair enough. I will let you. I'll let you do that later on.
Right, here we go. So
here we go. This is from it's actually from a Charlie Chaplin movie, The Great Dictator, which I've watched it and it really is an amazing movie. Even it was made like during World War II, and it's basically making fun of Nazi Germany, and yeah. But anyway, the speech in the end of the movie really touches your heart, and here it is, the greatest speech ever made.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children. Victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure, then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
So, okay.
Pretty cool. For those of you who are wondering, excuse me,
I was crying the entire time. No, I'm just kidding.
it's true. He is crying.
Caleb was.
Tears down his face.
No, you're just browsing Reddit during that.
Spaghetti
It's
on his
disgrace.
pockets. I was browsing our philosophy.
Fair enough.
Get out of here. Anyways, the track that was playing in the background, if anyone is interested, was let's see. Oh, I just knew this.
Or the track that was playing behind
Mm-hmm.
the speech.
I'm pretty sure it was by Trento Muller.
Some tells me nobody else is wondering what that track was.
I'm
But
sure there are a couple people.
No.
To my electronic music fans.
No,
back
man,
there.
everybody was like being moved, okay? But sorry, you don't have a soul.
Music moves people. And
So does
speaking,
Charlie Chaplin.
speaking of music, let's take a short break here and play a track. And then when we come back, maybe we'll talk about music a little bit more.
Will we?
Maybe we will.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Oh, dude. Bare Naked Ladies. Here we go. The Old Apartment, Bare Naked Ladies. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Ellen, I'm sorry for shooing you away. Wait, stop the song. Stop the song.
What?
Ah! No.
All right.
What are you doing?
I was pushing buttons, man. I don't know.
Anyway, Ellen, I'm sorry for shooing you away. We were in the middle of something, but Caleb, you got your umbrella, right?
No, it's not there.
It's not there. She
There's
didn't
no
leave you the umbrella. Oh.
Yeah.
But she looked so sad. She was like offering it as like a peace offering.
It's actually a broke umbrella too.
She was offering you a
it's-
broken umbrella as a peace offering.
It's a jank umbrella. You have to open it with a pen.
Jank isn't a thing.
Jank is a thing. You can't stop the jank train. Jank train keeps on a rolling.
Okay, do you notice how sometimes this happens a lot on the show where you go off on little spiels like that, and then I just give an exaggerated.
Yeah, happens a lot.
Yeah, take note.
Hey, I let you go off on your tangents. I'm okay with it. I'm supportive of your eccentricities, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm the real article.
Okay. Anyway, so
Well,
we're gonna talk about.
seeing as we're a radio show,
All right.
we thought,
He thought.
I thought, and then convinced Bill
Mm-hmm.
that it would be great if we talked about music. And when I say music, I mean good music. And when I say good music, I mean what makes good music good music. And when I say what
Soulja Boy.
makes good music,
Soldier Boy.
sure, use that as an example if you want.
All right. I didn't want to talk about music, but Caleb wanted to talk about
We can get to your thought experiment. there's so much there that we could talk about that for days.
music. Yeah, I know. I wanted to talk about the Experience Machine thought experiment, but
Well, I've been wanting to talk about aesthetics for at least a month now, actually.
no, it's been like 3 weeks. But anyway,
At
okay,
least
okay,
that
okay,
is-
fine,
all
fine.
right,
You
all
have
right,
your
all right,
opportunity.
all right,
You
all
have
right.
the
Well,
floor.
good,
You
well,
have
good,
the air.
Well, good. I do have the air.
All right.
I'm on the radio. Anyways. Shut up, Bill.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so when we say what makes good music, what are we talking about, Bill?
I don't know.
It's that
If-
A word
if it's-
again.
Oh yeah. Aesthetics.
Wait, what?
Apple?
No,
Acrobat?
you said it. Say it again.
Yeah. Aesthetics.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be talking about a little bit.
Yeah, I said it, and then you questioned me.
Well, yeah.
I was like, are you talking about a different A word?
oh no, same way.
Okay.
We're on track. We're on track. It's okay.
Okay.
We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so yes, what makes good music good music? Well, I don't know, Bill. Bill, what when you listen to music, you Soulja Boy, right? You like you some Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
All right. What makes Soulja Boy good?
Nothing makes Soulja Boy good. Okay, I don't listen to Soulja Boy.
Well, or if Soulja Boy, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Soulja Boy, if you're listening, I have absolutely no respect for you whatsoever as a human being.
Oh, it's not that.
But okay, what makes the Beatles good?
All right.
I'm actually never been a huge fan of the Beatles. So that's a bad example. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love Red
All right,
Hot
cool.
Chili Peppers.
What
okay?
makes Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No
good?
idea.
Okay, no idea.
No idea.
Come on, Bill. You're a philosophy major. You can do
Yeah, but I
this.
haven't taken the class.
You can pick it apart.
No,
No,
I
just
can't.
use your thoughts. Use your thoughts. You don't have to take a class to know about philosophy. That's the point of the show, you know?
It puts me in a state of melancholy.
Melancholy.
I like that word.
Tell me a little bit more. Keep going. Explain to me. What's it like when you listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers? What happens?
Brings out, I don't know, just deep human emotions, I guess, that I can't really ascribe words to them.
Okay. What else? No, keep going. This is good. This is great.
I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Whatever comes to mind.
okay, what do I feel when I listen to good music? It's a real toe tapper.
Okay.
Makes me want to boogie.
All right.
I'm very prone to boogieing.
I can tell.
Uh-huh.
There was boogieing going on
Uh-huh.
not too long ago, in fact.
The way you said that sounded really weird. I'm really uncomfortable now.
You
Okay.
make me feel self-conscious. This whole radio show, you're just picking on me, Bill.
Yeah, it's true. This is the first time that I'm this is the first time that I'm being the victim here. Usually I'm the one picking on you. Huh.
What do you mean? All right, whatever. All right.
Okay, well, I don't know how I feel when I listen to music. I don't know. I feel something. I feel put into like a completely different state of mind that feels completely unique to myself. I feel like the only thing that matters is like what I am feeling at that moment, I guess.
This is good. This is good, Bill.
Okay.
This is great.
Okay.
One question.
All right.
Do you think that when you listen to good music, that there's some kind of standard to music? As in, like, there's good and bad music, not just for you, but for other people. Do you think that, for example, Nickelback. I think most of us can agree Nickelback's probably not the best thing
Hey,
ever.
I used to really like Nickelback. I mean, I used to really, really like Nickelback back in 7th grade. They were pretty much the first band I was ever into.
Well, I can forgive you because you were in 7th grade. You were not capable of rational decisions.
I mean, that was literally like the only band I listened to in 7th grade.
Bill, you don't admit these things on the radio. People are listening. Like, your mom knows.
Oh man.
Hi, Mom.
Dude. No, not this again.
Anyways, so Nickelback, with the exception of Bill,
Okay.
most other people
Why? So
have
you're
the
so
common sense to know Nickelback is not a good band.
so you're gonna completely break down from a philosophical perspective why Nickelback sucks.
Well, we're
You're going to explain to me
Well, before
exactly why they suck.
we go there, you got to answer a question.
Okay.
So maybe it's Soulja Boy then, because you don't like Soulja Boy, right?
I don't listen to
Do you
Soulja Boy.
think that people who listen to Soulja Boy have bad taste in music?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
All right. Yeah. If Soulja Boy, I'm sorry, but yeah.
All right.
You're gonna
Oh.
drop a bomb on me here. What? Just say it.
Oh no, it's gonna build up. It's one of those slow like radiation things, and before you know it, shazow, you've got like 5 arms. So, all right, so you will agree that there is good and bad music, and that people
okay.
who listen to to bad music,
That there's something wrong with them? Yeah,
there's
sure.
something wrong with them,
Sure.
or maybe, just maybe, what you're saying here
Oh, man.
is implying some kind of standard of music.
Ah!
Some kind of objective standard.
What?
Oh yeah, dude.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm implying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone is.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, same thing is true of art, right? Some people like art, some people like good art, some people like bad art.
I mean, a lot of times if I'm ever like the past year, I made a habit of whenever I'm downtown, usually going into the Grand Rapids Art Museum because it's usually free entry there. And if I have like an hour or two to kill, if I'm downtown, I'll usually go in there and just walk around. And coming from somebody who knows absolutely nothing about art, I'm able to a lot of times, a lot of the paintings, a lot of sculptures, whatever. I really like them, but I don't know why I like them. But particularly the the photography of the Urban Decay in Detroit.
Mhm.
They had an exhibit on that over the summer, and I don't know why, but I really, really loved it. But I could not explain to you why I was drawn to it. I have no idea whatsoever why I enjoyed it, but I did.
Welcome to the magical world of aesthetics.
Oh man,
Where everything that you have known is about to get a lot more complicated, and that when you, in the future, like things, you will go,
so that's why I
things
like
that make
it.
you go,
Well, part of me doesn't want to know why I like it. I just want to enjoy the mystery of it.
What? What did you just say? Oh my.
I don't
oh
wa-
my.
I don't want to question things.
Oh, Bill.
I don't like asking questions.
Oh, what?
It makes me think. You know I don't like thinking.
Well, well then.
Come on, didn't you hear Charlie Chaplin there?
Yeah, I did.
We think too much and we feel too little, man. I just want to feel.
So, art makes you want to feel. Does it make you have feels?
So many feels, yeah.
Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. All right. So I do have one question for you, a counter argument, if you will.
This is my water bottle from last week.
Yeah.
I left my Well, shucks. I just found my. I didn't even know that I didn't have it.
Oh, Bill. Yeah, I was wondering where it was this week.
You were wondering where my water bottle was?
Yeah, because you always have in your water bottle.
Wow, you were wondering and I wasn't. Oh, my mom says hi, Caleb.
Hi.
She spelled your name correctly, too.
Oh, nice. No one ever does. All right.
Okay,
So
anyway.
here we go. Time to get into the nitty gritty of this.
All right.
All right. So there's one counter argument to your idea. There's some kind of
There's an
standard. to music.
objective,
Maybe not objective. I mean, that word's kind of tricky.
objective beauty? Like, would beauty be a good word for it?
Beauty could be a word. It's a word that many philosophers use when talking about aesthetics.
Okay.
So, when you are listening to something and it sounds good to you, maybe it's just good to you. Did you ever think about that?
To nobody else.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's something about you that makes whatever that thing is something you like. This is what actually a lot of people think this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no such thing, like when you really press them, they go, well, maybe there's no such thing as like good taste and bad taste. It's just everyone has some kind of
Taste.
preference. Yeah, some kind of tastes of what they like and don't like. And if they like bad things, it's just because that's the way their tastes are set up. And the reason you call it bad things is because it's just not good to you. So it's the subjective argument for aesthetics.
Okay.
So would you disagree with that?
No, but I know I'm contradicting myself.
That's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say I'd agree with that.
All right. Well then, now it's time to get into the nitty gritty.
I thought we already were in the nitty gritty.
We're getting even more nitty and gritty.
Oh man. I can't handle this, man. I didn't take the class.
It's gonna get dirty.
I didn't take the class.
We're gonna be up to our arms in kind of. It might get metaphysical.
Whoa.
Oh yes, but you didn't see that coming.
Actually, I kind of did.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten metaphysical every week so far. every show to date.
Metaphysical comedy.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Okay, here we go. So, when we're talking about this idea, and it basically boils down to this on a really base level: is art subjective, or is there some kind of commonality to it that exists between people? So, I mean, obviously, there's the argument for subjective aesthetics or a subjective taste in music. This is pretty much there. Everyone's kind of different. They have different backgrounds. They like different things for a lot of times we can tell for no reason. You take two people, they have the identical genes, and you raise them in identical settings. Sometimes they like different kinds of music, like twins, for example. Grow up in the same household. One of them likes rock, one of them likes rap. Time comes in, time comes out. Can't explain that. So there is some kind of thing that we want to say. There's a subjective nature to art. But in reality, is there a difference between art, which would be good music, and stuff that you enjoy?
Meaning, you're saying like any kind of art, whether it be, because music is similar but different to, say, a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
Which is similar and different to, would you say really good food? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Would that kind of fall, in a way that kind of falls?
Yeah, food is totally in the realm of aesthetics.
Yeah, because it's still like stimulating the senses and you're getting pleasure out of it.
Yep.
In the same way, so for me, like, White Castle is just a work of art.
Dude, I love
it's
White
beautiful.
Castle.
You do too.
And everyone else hates White Castle.
I
and
know,
love
man.
White Castle.
They just don't know. They
Little
don't.
tiny burgers.
If only they knew the joy that it brought me.
I know.
But like any more than 10 at one time, then I begin to question my life choices.
Yeah, I started to get a little queasy. That's
Yeah.
okay. So you limit yourself.
Right.
But yeah. So there's all these things, these things of art, paintings, sculpture, music, food,
All right.
whatnot. So we can say, you can argue, well, yeah, it's subjective, man. It's all just tastes, man. But there's one question though that we have to ask if we talk about that. Bill, I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Not really, but shoot.
Is there one thing that everyone has to like? They are obligated to like. Do you think it's possible that this thing exists, this type of art?
One thing that everybody has to like.
They can't not be drawn to it. There's something about it that just sucks them in.
White Castle?
Oh, most people hate White Castle. We're in the minority here.
Yeah, it's true. I got nothing. I cannot think of a single thing that everybody automatically finds beautiful.
Well, maybe not a single thing, but theoretically.
Okay, well,
like maybe there's
I don't know,
something...
like a lot of people think like babies are adorable. I think babies are creepy to look at.
Yeah,
They're just
weird.
They're ugly and just
Got big
bulgy.
heads. And,
Yeah, and they're all wrinkly and puffy and just, yeah, like little alien scrotums.
Okay. Anyways,
How'd you like that mental image?
never thinking about that again.
All right,
You've ruined. I will never be a father now.
cow
Definitely not.
insemination.
Whatever, dude. All right, moving on.
But yeah, I cannot think of a single thing or even a single idea that is universally aesthetically pleasing.
We'll put it this way. So when we are experiencing, like going back to music,
Okay.
when you're experiencing your favorite band, Nickelback, Bill,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're obviously human. You're a limited being, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there is something about Nickelback, or maybe it's what Nickelback causes to you, some kind of interplay between you and Nickelback that makes you like Nickelback. Because a lot of times, I mean, no one wants to like Nickelback, you know? No one wants to, but sometimes they just have to.
Yeah.
No
well,
one
well, I can tell you, listening to it, it conjured up a lot of teen angst.
did it.
Well, yeah, I was, what, 13 then?
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing then. I didn't know what I was thinking. Back then, like, everything was stupid. I never smiled in pictures because I was too cool for that. You know, just constantly thinking, like, this is stupid. You guys are stupid. Mom, Dad, you're stupid. I'm just kidding. I don't think that anymore. But,
Well, okay, you're a teenager.
yeah.
Everyone did
So it seems only appropriate so that I would like Nickelback.
Well, yeah. Right, against your better judgment, of course.
Right.
But so we are getting somewhere. You know, we think that there. I mean, there has to be. There's something about art, about music, about good food that makes us enjoy it, even if it's something we may not want to enjoy. Like, for example, I have had the pleasure, or rather displeasure, I suppose, in experiencing a lot of very strange types of foods. One of them was, if you're not familiar with it, I had the opportunity to experience fried sheep testicles, as it were. They were called like lamb fries, I want to say. Lamb fries and or Rocky Mountain oysters, fruit bowls.
You're asking me like I know.
Well, hey, I had the opportunity to experience those, you know, and those are considered good. And many people who have these things, they don't want to say, "Oh yeah, you know, I'd love to, you know, eat me some lamb fries," because no one wants to enjoy it. But there's something about that, the flavor that's from it, or what have you. Maybe the way it's prepared, the chef who cooked it did something that makes it taste good, and we like it despite our better judgment.
Okay, well, I think I can kind of relate to that because, let's say if we go back to the White Castle example.
Yeah.
Well, I can say, first and foremost, I love White Castle. I can also say White Castle is really gross. Have you ever left some White Castle in your car overnight, like in the bag, the next day your car smells like?
It reeks. Same thing with any, like, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
Really anything like
Yeah.
that. And, you know, but really, it's like, smells disgusting. Like, I know it does, but to me, it smells amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why exactly. Like, I know it's gross, but I love it. And I know it's terrible food, terrible for you. And I know I'm going to regret eating it every time I do, but I just feel, I feel at peace with the universe, man.
Yeah. And you always come back to it, too.
Right. But
I
can totally understand.
I will totally, like,
the
carpool with you to go to West
the nearest one, I believe, is in East Lansing.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It's an hour away.
Yeah.
But at my parents' house in Chicago, there are 3 within 5 miles of our house.
Score.
I know. It's awesome. Anyway, back to the point. I can totally understand why people don't get the same enjoyment out of it that I do. Same way with if there's a certain song that I like, or a certain picture that I like, or, you know, any kind of art. A lot of times I can see why other people don't get the same effect out of it as I do. Like, we'll say, like, take songs for example. There are some songs that really, you know how sometimes you listen to a random song and it just speaks to you. Like, you don't know how to put it, but just it really, you know, like it hits something deep inside you that you are just drawn to it, and you just want to keep on listening to that song because it conjures up feelings in you that you can't really explain, that you can't really put words to.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Happens all the time.
But then when you show that song to somebody else and they listen to it and they go like, yeah, it's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell them like, no, it's a great song. What do you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it.
But their mind's not blown.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's so frustrating.
Yeah, like, why are you not crying? Why are you not crying tears of joy at having heard this song? I gave you this song as a gift. It's now part of your life. I'm trying to think of an example right now, but I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, yeah, like at times like that, I can't comprehend why other people don't get the same enjoyment out of it as I do.
Well, now we are getting somewhere, and we're gonna get into some pretty cool metaphysics. It's simple metaphysics. Don't worry about it. It's not like Spinoza or Descartes or Leibniz or whatever.
We haven't even talked about him yet.
He's gonna be cool.
We're not worthy to talk about him.
We
yet.
are not.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, that's all right. Anyways, so we're getting somewhere. So let's do my favorite part of every philosophical discussion. Let's define some terms.
Yay!
Define some terms. Grab out your pencils and paper, kids. We're gonna write yourselves a dictionary by the end of the semester.
I love how I knew where that was going to. Like my favorite part of any philosophical conversation. Define your terms. I'm just picturing like a studio audience, just like.
Yeah, it's like The Price is Right, but with our we need to get these sound effects working because it would just bring so much to this conversation.
You know, I can get them on my phone.
Should.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Okay,
Next time.
That'll be our project for next week. Okay.
Anyways, let's define some terms.
All right.
All right. So first term, let's define a term we're going to call the aesthetic object.
Okay.
All right. So there's this thing that exists, and it has some kind of aesthetic effect on us, or there's something involved on it that makes us like it or feel something, or it changes something in us. Like for example, Nickelback. When I listen to Nickelback, I feel existential horror. Or when I listen to like
you start thinking like, is this really worth it? Is this really the world that I want to live in?
I do.
Is existing really preferable to me right now?
I listen to Photograph and I'm just like, dude, I don't even know. Why do I try to speak philosophy to these people? They are not worthy. It was my German existentialist, a German nihilist example.
That was supposed to be German.
It was an accent.
That was horrible.
It was an accent. I'm not known for.
That was just okay. We're gonna skip that part.
What?
Can just
Whatever.
carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
Never again. Bill he crushes my soul.
Carry on.
And I have no
My wayward
ego
son.
left. Anyways, so yeah. Dude, you just busted my train of thought there. Hope you feel happy. Oh, aesthetic object.
Yeah.
Aesthetic object.
Yeah.
So, the aesthetic object, this thing that exists that causes something to happen that gives us something dealing with art. So we're being pretty vague here, and that's okay. So, like for example, anything that we think can potentially be within the realm of art. Maybe it's not actually art or good art, but you could try to put it in that category. It has the potential to attempt to be placed in that category. So like Nickelback, like any kind of sculpture.
Can you apply that to anything that's, that we perceive through the senses? Wouldn't pretty much anything fall into that category?
Technically,
I mean, even just like sometimes a white wall is just beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Just a pure white wall.
Well,
Granted,
that gets
ours are
tricky.
not very far from pure. They got scuff marks all over the wall.
And if there's any art majors listening, they might get a little uncomfortable about about the claim I'm going to make. I personally think, well, I don't know what I think. I think no. I'm with the art majors here. No, it can't be. It has to be man-made. It has to be intentionally made. But a lot of other philosophers say,
Wait, so a flower?
yeah, a flower may be
A
pretty.
flower is not art.
Yeah.
Huh.
According to many philosophers. But let's
But
for
a
the
photograph.
time being.
But a photograph of a flower is.
Yes. It's complicated.
You lost me there.
We'll explain this soon. We'll get
Okay.
there. But for now, yes, we'll say it is. Anything could be an aesthetic object. As far as us and our listeners are concerned, it's allowable for now. In the future, we'll see.
Okay.
And then, well, that's good enough for now. The aesthetic object. Oh, one other thing. Taste. We're going to define taste.
Right.
And taste is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you like something, the feeling of enjoying that thing based on your preferences would be a taste. So we all have tastes. Bill has a taste for Nickelback.
I don't have a...
He had a taste for
was
Nickelback, and now he has a taste for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Years ago? Yeah. I like to think that's... Yeah, I've moved on from my Nickelback days.
Well, it's your fault for mentioning it. I mean, if I had liked Nickelback, I would have erased every file of my computer.
Well, that computer doesn't exist anymore.
And disowned all my friends who knew about me playing Nickelback. And then never spoken
So
of that chapter of my life again.
Well, considering recording the show, there's now evidence of this fact. Yep. Which means I need to burn down this radio station and kill you and everybody listening to the show in order to keep this secret.
Well, hey, you know.
Yeah.
It's Nickelback. You know, I would say that, morally speaking, that is justifiable.
Can we use a different example other than Nickelback now?
Okay,
Because
fine.
I feel like every time you mention it, you give me this look like... You just give me this condescending look every time you use a Nickelback as an example of something that sucks.
Well,
And every time you're just looking at me like...
Before now, I had
we're just having like this internal condescending laugh every time you say that.
Before this moment, Bill, Nickelback was objectively unpleasing to everyone. You were the only exception. You were the counter to the rule.
You just look at me with like disappointment, like you silly little person.
I am disappointed in you.
You naive little man.
Everyone listening is disappointed in you, Bill. Our viewer rate has dropped by half. At least.
Okay. What are we talking about?
How did you manage to get onto Reddit liking Nickelback? That is
8 years ago. I was young. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. All right. Well, I will forgive you. I will forgive you. Let's hope the internet will do the same.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, so let's just all right. So something that's bad. A bad thing. You know, you have a taste, or something that other people don't like.
Vegemite.
Vegemite. I actually like Vegemite though.
Really? I've never had it, so I don't know.
It's kind of like weird and savory and stuff. Anyways, really salty.
From what I understand, it's the opposite of Nutella.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way of describing it. It's the exact opposite of Nutella.
Then I hate it.
Well, you can like both.
Okay. Anyway.
So there's this. You have tastes, these things that you like, and so there we go. Our two definitions: the aesthetic object and tastes.
Right.
Well, good. We are getting somewhere. Now, but here's the thing. Don't you think it's possible? Because now we've thought about it a little bit more. What it goes into, you know, like liking things and having tastes.
Mm-hmm.
That there's obviously something about you that makes you like this certain aesthetic object.
Right.
Whether it be Red Hot Chili Peppers or what have you. And what if there's something about humans in general that makes them like a particular thing? So let's call that aesthetic object X.
Okay.
There's something about aesthetic object X, or maybe about humans in general, that because of how we're made or how we are formed or how we exist, the way our brains work, every human is attracted to aesthetic object X. It has to like it. Just like we like White Castle, even though we know we shouldn't, or Burger King, or
so we're saying
our
like
guilty
that's,
pleasures.
Okay, that everybody's universally attracted to. Could you say maybe the sun?
I don't like the sun though. It's too bright and burning and stuff. But just theoretically, maybe.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Well, you are a Redditor.
Yeah, that's true. I don't ever go out. So are you.
Yeah, but I do occasionally go outside.
Yeah.
But okay, but you could make the argument that the sun could be that object because it is essentially the giver of all life on Earth. The only reason anything is alive on Earth is because of the sun.
Well, remember, we have to think it's like either art or we have to like enjoy it, like enjoy looking at it and feeling it. I actually, yeah, I get what you're
like,
saying.
like I would think that if I could look right at the sun, I would probably like looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind
I
of.
probably would. I mean, you obviously you can't,
Well, yeah.
but I imagine just like hypothetically, if you could, it probably would be a beautiful thing to look at.
Exactly. Or maybe there's something other, there's probably a couple things that just because of the way we exist, there's something about these aesthetic object X's
Like
that we're like, oh wow, this is so
like a
beautiful.
like a babbling brook.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Water. That's what I'm getting at.
It's nice. Even if you like are afraid of water, there's something still kind of pretty to it. You have to appreciate that. So there are these things then. No, I think can we both agree?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, like it's, I guess you say like for the most part, like maybe, well, like we can't say for sure if it is completely universal, and like somebody may say that, like you may say that like you hate the sun, but do you really hate the sun? Do you think the sun is ugly?
Well, no.
Yeah, but maybe you could say that you would think it's beautiful, except for the fact that you see it every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if, you may think a painting is absolutely gorgeous, but if you see it literally every single day of your life, you're not going to be in awe of it every time you look at it.
Maybe.
But if you're questioning about it, and if you think about it, and if that painting did not give you sunburn, if you were looking at it for too long, then you could still say like, yes, it is a beautiful painting. You could say the same thing about the sun.
Well, we're touching on some topics here, and it's about to get lots and lots of fun. Are you having fun, Bill?
No.
Oh.
You're making fun of me.
Well, you always make fun of me.
Yeah, sure.
You made fun of my fake bad German accent.
That was a terrible impression.
And now you're doing it twice. Ugh. Anyways, so we're touching on these things.
Okay.
So we have these things that we're enjoying. We enjoy these aesthetic objects for whatever reason. We have tastes.
We don't know why we enjoy them, but we just do.
We all agree that there's some things that our human nature necessitates. In fact, I want to go so far as to say it necessitates that there are some things that exist that we all, as humans, have and are obligated to appreciate in terms of art.
Would you say that from an evolutionary standpoint?
I'd say it from an evolutionary standpoint. I'd say it from a metaphysical standpoint, just by sheer probability of all the other things that exist and how finite we are. There's probably going to be a couple of those things. There's going to be a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So
you could say that, for example, like we could say, like kind of relating it to the sun, we'd say that existence itself is necessarily a beautiful thing. So anything that makes existence possible, we are able to find beauty in it. Or maybe that's just a little theory. I'm kind of pulling it out of my butt.
I guess sort of. I'm talking about art objects though.
Like
aesthetic,
like man-made.
Man-made. Well, anything at the moment. Because right now it can be.
Okay.
So we're gonna close it down here in a little bit, and we're gonna be back. We're gonna take a break real quick, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna explain what we mean by art, and we're gonna try to define good art and bad art and all this other cool stuff, and we're gonna give you hipsters the ability to be pretentious about things. All right, here we go. We'll be back. Here is oh my, it's Depeche Mode. People aren't people. We'll be right back.
Oh my.
Human nature, to a certain extent, that makes us want to like certain things or view things as beautiful against our will, and that gets into more aesthetic terms. Is this term beauty? And so, beauty is usually an aesthetic term. And here's the quick definition of it. And here we go. Here's two definitions. One, a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And 2, a combination of qualities that pleases the intellect or a moral sense. There are beauty. So again, beauty is this idea that there's something about a particular, it uses the word form here, which is great. And it makes us want to like it. So we've been saying this before. There's things that because of the way we are as humans, that we have to like aesthetic objects. And so what are we doing? We're finding these objects beautiful. So beauty, then, beauty cannot be totally subjective. You can't just like something and say, oh, it's beautiful to me. Because you're not entirely correct then. We really, really want to say there's something about beauty that's universal for all humans, for every human that has ever existed. There's this idea of beauty within us. Or maybe there's a thing that has beauty, and because of the way our brains are shaped, or how they work, or maybe how we exist in the world, whatever reason, we find beautiful objects pleasing and beautiful. So this is good. We've set up the grounds for a definition of art. And so this definition of art is, well, art then isn't just something that we like, or it's not just things that are painted. So can you paint something that's not art? Well, I'm going to say yeah, you can. If it's not beautiful, it doesn't get to be art. You can still like it. So you can have your daughter maybe paint you a picture, and it's super ugly, and you hang it on the fridge, but you still like it, even though it's not beautiful. You have this taste for it because it's your daughter, and it's special to you, and so it has meaning, and so you like it. But art is something distinct. It's different. Well, cool. What then makes things beautiful? Well, I'm going to play a track so I can let Bill back into the studio, and then we'll talk about it. So, here we go. Here is a nice, short, little track. This is Battles, Dominican Fade. Be right back in just a minute. And we're back. Sorry for the short break.
Still chewing.
You got Twix. You can do the little stop time thing with Twix.
It's a Snicker, not a Twix.
I actually like Snickers, but I like frozen Snickers. I don't like the regular Snickers.
Yeah.
They're too chewy. I like the ice cream in the middle.
Well, as anybody who knows me well enough can vouch, I have an absolutely uncontrollable sweet tooth. I bought a king-sized pack of Reese's on my way down, too, and I finished it before I even got down the bottom of the stairs. Anyway, yes, we are talking about beauty.
Art and beauty.
Art and beauty.
Just a quick recap. Beauty is this notion that if something is beautiful, there's something about its form, its shape, its colors, what have you, that makes us like it. So, I'm going to say beauty it goes beyond taste. We're obligated to like it.
Like, what is that makes... Well, what is it that makes things specifically beautiful? Symmetry?
Maybe. There are studies that show that we find people more beautiful if their face is more symmetrical.
It's very true. Symmetry. My left side looks just like my right.
I don't know. Do you think White Castle is beautiful? Do you get a beautiful experience when you eat White Castle?
Well, how can taste be symmetrical? And even the burger itself isn't that symmetrical because they never get the pickles evenly distributed. The onions, heck, the burger isn't even placed right on the bun. It's always half off the bun.
Well, I mean, fast food never looks like the commercials. Never ever.
That's very true.
Always looks
That's
kind
why
of soggy.
that's why the commercials always look so good.
Yeah.
That's why we want it. Anyway, symmetry. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it couldn't be because
I'm pretty sure
you hear things and they're not. You can't hear symmetry, but sounds are beautiful.
Well, melody.
But what about things that are beautiful and they don't have a melody? Yeah, and they're chaotic too. Or taste. Maybe there's a taste that's just like really rich and overpowering and dark, like coffee. Coffee doesn't taste, it doesn't taste symmetrical. But there is a certain beauty of coffee.
Coffee puts me right back into my homeostasis. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Puts me in my happy place.
Especially good coffee.
But well, I mean, using a word like symmetrical doesn't really apply to anything other than visual beauty.
Well, I mean, you can say that symmetry maybe doesn't make things beautiful, but it is a characteristic of beautiful things.
Okay. So, symmetrical things are not beautiful, but beautiful things are symmetrical.
Well, not necessarily. But
Okay. Then
a beautiful thing
the other way
can
around?
have symmetry.
It can. And a non-beautiful thing can have symmetry too. So what's the point in even throwing that out there?
I don't know.
I mean, other than in facial recognition, I'm not really sure where the symmetry applies.
Like butterflies
except for
are symmetrical. And
True, but then I'm pretty sure it was Pythagoras had a theory behind that too. That like no, it wasn't Pythagoras. It was who was it? Help me out.
Aristotle?
No, not Aristotle. Pre-Socratic philosopher.
Epicurus.
Maybe. That was a geometry guy, right?
No, that was Euclid.
Euclid, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Euclidean.
Move on.
Anyway, yeah, they believe that beauty was found within the geometry of things, but in symmetry and just how even like in the human body, like they believe that the human body was the most beautiful and perfect body possible. Basically, it was the most beautiful, perfect manifestation of a living being. And even in the human body, there are constant ratios, constant symmetry that is consistent, like in all people. Like I can't remember the exact ratio that it is, but the length between the wrist and the elbow and the elbow and the shoulder, that ratio is consistent in pretty much all parts of the human body, like between finger segments, between our calves and our thighs, and that's consistent for all people. That ratio comes up everywhere in the human body.
Have you ever heard of
called though?
the Vitruvian Man?
Yeah.
Well, the Vitruvian Man it's a drawing. For those of you who aren't familiar, the Vitruvian Man is a sketch by the Renaissance thinker, genius, yeah, Leonardo da Vinci. And da Vinci sketched this based off of the work of a Roman architect by the name of Vitruvius. Vitruvius, he based all of his buildings on these principles you're talking about, these ideals of beauty. And here, I've got the list right here. A palm is 4 fingers across. A foot is 4 palms.
Wait,
the length
what?
of the outspread arms is equal to the height of a man.
Mhm.
From the hairline to the bottom of the chin is 1/10 the height of a man. The foot is 1/7 from the height of a man, etc. So these are the
These are just, like,
proportions
consistent proportions, yeah.
of the perfect human being.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, of course, we all are a little bit. We have little somewhat variations.
There
from
are
that.
slight variations, yeah, but more or less they average out to these pretty consistent ratios, yeah.
Yeah, and they're normally within like a standard deviation of this idea.
Right.
But for him, this is the perfectly proportioned human being. And so to him that was beautiful. It has all these features.
It's like the epitome of human beauty, basically.
Yeah.
Wants to have those exact proportions, yeah.
So then transferring this concept back to the aesthetic object. Like we said before, if something is beautiful, then it has the potential to be art.
Right.
And this brings us to the question, well, we know what beauty is defined as, but now we get to the question, what makes something beautiful? And if something is beautiful, what is it that makes us appreciate this beauty?
Brain chemistry?
Maybe it's our brain chemistry.
I don't know. I can't tell you what would trigger that specific brain chemistry, but
Well,
that would be my take on it.
let's break it down. I'm a fan of what is Kantian aesthetics or formalist aesthetics.
Mm.
And this is the idea that there's something about the form of an object that makes it beautiful. So let's break this down. We're gonna dabble in some metaphysics.
All right, break down.
Here we go. So, when you're appreciating Red Hot Chili Peppers, remember how way back in the beginning of the segment you were talking about Chili Peppers? What makes it good to you?
It invokes specific emotions in me.
Okay.
Or, I guess not specific emotions, vague emotions.
Okay.
Or it may invoke
But it has
memories.
Memories. It can invoke different emotions depending on what the song is or what it's trying to get across.
It brings out something in me that makes me feel more human.
That's a great way of putting it.
All right.
So, for him, when we're feeling these emotions, when you're listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, to a certain extent, would you agree with a statement that when I listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, it makes me forget about everything that's going on around me, and I'm just kind of like entrapped within the song. I'm stuck in my own little world, man.
Yes. It's almost like a waking dream in a sense. I mean, it depends on how, deep you like immerse yourself into listening to the song. In the same way that you can take a glance at a painting, or you can really get absorbed into looking at the painting, and then if you're really into it, you completely forget about anything else that exists. It's almost like that is your reality for the time being.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is great. This is exactly what this idea of formal aesthetics is getting at.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying, art, there's something about real art that has the capability to suck you out of the real world, almost violently.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to choose, really.
Or it's almost like you're dragged out of it, but you're unconsciously dragged out of it. Like you don't, like if you're listening to a certain song that really hits you deep, you may not realize that you don't realize that you had forgotten about the real world for the time being.
Like, for example, you're listening to songs played on whale radio, and they're great, and you're just listening, you're just mind blown, you're just like...
You're just, oh my god, this music is so good.
And then one of the whale liners comes on.
College Top 30, it's my jams right there.
It is.
Yeah.
And then one of the little whale liners, you're listening to the whale, listen to the whale,
yeah,
on
it
the
just
whale.
brings you right back to...
And you get, like, you're snapped.
Right back to reality, man.
It's like, boom, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, it's been 20 minutes.
It's a long... wow, that was a long trance.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can happen,
Uh-huh.
You ever had that happen to you?
Not for 20 minutes, no.
But for like maybe one song or part of a song or like looking at a painting or a television, like a movie. Well, no. What about a movie? Because there's been times I've been sucked totally into a movie for the whole thing, and I forget.
Fight Club. When I watch a movie, I forget about anything else that is happening in my life, and it's just like that movie becomes my reality, and that's very if that movie becomes my reality, then I have a very warped and twisted reality, but I am just sucked right into it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know how else to put it. It's just it's a mind F.
Oh, yes.
Mind F, yeah.
So, whoa, we just did a little bit of discovering here.
What?
There's something. There's something about this aesthetic object. It possesses beauty, and there's something about this beauty that is just pulling us right out of the real world. Our minds are just there. It's gripped onto our minds, and it yanks us. People say, wow, it's like I was having an out-of-body experience listening to this song. I mean, they weren't really.
Yeah, I've had experiences like that. Not necessarily with listening to a song or watching a movie, but where I, really do completely zone out and have like an out-of-body experience. I've had something similar to that while meditating before. I was into meditating for a time last year, and I honestly did feel like the world around me pretty much stopped existing for about 20 minutes, and I honestly felt like I was floating a few feet in front of my body. It was a very weird feeling. That's the only way I can describe it. That like basically my mind, myself, existed a few feet outside my body. Because when you're meditating, you rid your mind of all thoughts, basically. So that there is nothing in your mind for a time. That's how you meditate.
Well, what's it
so
like?
basically that sense of nothingness, that nothingness was my reality for a short time. And after coming out of it, I looked back and I thought, wow, that was beautiful.
Whoa. So, this is exactly what we're trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
This is pivotal. This is totally pivotal for what we're talking about here. Now, there's two concepts that Kant talks about, and I'm gonna go easy on the Kant because I'm gonna distance myself from it. This might get a little new agey here, I guess. Well, not new agey,
Yeah.
but it's totally armchair. And that's why we're here.
17th century New Agey.
Lol. Anyways, Kant has this other idea besides this thing we're describing. Here we go. We're defining a term here. Aesthetic experience. This bit where we feel like we're pulled out, where we forget about our bodies and our lives, and we just have this experience that's just we forget for once in all of our lives, unless we're having experience, we are always conscious of ourselves. Think about that. When you were in your meditative trance, were you conscious of yourself? Were you aware of your own mind? Did you feel it when you got really deep into this trance?
In a way, yes, and in a way, no.
Okay.
It's almost like it was like I had a sense of myself, but it was unbounded.
Okay.
It was I don't know, talk about New Agey, but yeah, basically like my sense of self had no boundaries. It was endless. Like I became that reality, I guess.
I mean, I guess with Fight Club, because meditation it can bring us to this aesthetic experience, but not because of an aesthetic object.
Right.
Because you don't focus on a single thing when you meditate.
Well, yeah, actually you do.
Like, really? I've never meditated like that. I've always done nothingness meditation.
Well, I mean, like if you focus on like one thing, like your breathing, and then you kind of drift off into nothingness.
Oh well, I mean,
And eventually you don't even become conscious of your breathing.
use that as well. Yeah, I mean, you're not focused on a thing. I mean, you are to bring you into it, but once you're there, there's not
Once
something
I'm there,
you're experiencing.
then it's almost like there's nothing to experience, but it's like you're still experiencing something.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't know how to explain it really.
Well, like with
It
Fight
was-
Club though.
Okay, Fight Club.
So when you were watching Fight Club,
Mm-hmm.
and again, when you said you were totally sucked into it.
Right. Where like I felt like I could feel what the characters are feeling. And I think like a better example would be like a good book.
Oh yeah,
Like a
good
good book where like like if you're reading a book and if something sad happens in the book and then you start crying, even though like it's not real, but that as you're reading it, you become so immersed in it somebody could be breaking into your apartment while you're reading the book and you wouldn't be aware of it because you are so completely submerged in it. And that you feel like what's happening in the book is happening to you. Like, that becomes your reality because it is that beautiful.
Would you say that you forget, to a certain extent, that you exist? Like, you don't experience
In a
your
sense,
own
yeah.
self.
Like, I'm not conscious of myself then.
Yeah.
I'm only conscious of
Only of the thing.
the object.
Okay.
The object being the story. The story that's unfolding. Or in the case of music, I'm only conscious of the song.
Mhm.
Or in a painting, I'm only conscious of the painting. Right.
So there's something, again, about these aesthetic objects that latches on to us and pulls us out of the real world, because as far as you can see in every direction, you are still surrounded by this massive entity that you cannot escape and you cannot overcome. You are boxed in. That is in another experience. We call that the sublime. It's this feeling of weakness that's brought on by the idea of infinity to us.
Ah.
Now, the sea
I like
and
this.
the thunderstorm, it's really not infinite. It's of course it's limited.
Well, yeah, but it will seem so at the time.
Yeah, because our minds are so small.
Mm-hmm.
And the
We
thunderstorm
can't
is so
even
big.
we can't even get close to comprehending infinity.
So we reach this point where our mind has reached its limit of trying to understand this colossal entity that is nature. And we fail. And so to us, this thing becomes infinite. We only can perceive it as infinite. And we are weak in comparison. Infinitesimally weak.
Oh yeah.
And it's awe-inspiring at the same time as it is terrifying. It's one of those things where you go out and you experience, you watch a thunderstorm. I used to watch thunderstorms when I was a kid. Did anyone else? Did you, Bill?
I still do, yeah.
Okay, yeah. They're beautiful, but at the same time they're kind of scary. It's just you watch them and you go, "Wow, I'm so small." But at the same time,
the amount of power that is just happening purely by just natural forces moving around on the earth. The amount of power that exists that is just happening can I mean it's just overwhelming. It's
a single haphazard lightning strike
yeah,
will just obliterate you.
Yeah, and like not only that, but like even just when that lightning storm is happening, that's only happening on a very, very, very small portion of the Earth, and the Earth itself is, infinitesimally smaller when you think of the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Try to think about how big the Earth is. No, but try to think about Grand Valley. Try to imagine.
Yeah, there are
the size of Grand Valley right now, the campus. Can you imagine that? How big that is?
Well, we have 22,000 students in Grand
Something
Valley.
like that. Maybe.
But anyway, we're one out of 22,000.
Yeah.
Grand Valley itself is one out of however many colleges there are in Michigan.
One of
and
tons. Now try to imagine Allendale. Now
Well,
try to imagine
pretty much
the
our
space
Allendale.
between. Well, that's true. Well, there's a little bit more beside us.
There's like 5,000 people other than Grand Valley students that live in Allendale.
Really, that's it?
That's probably an exaggeration. I really have no idea. I just
Oh,
pulled
wow.
the number out of my butt.
Well, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's pretty small.
But anyway, yeah.
And then try to imagine the distance from us to Grand Rapids, and then all around.
Right.
And these distances, they're small. You can drive from Grand Valley to Grand Rapids in less than a half hour, but the amount of distance between the two, we can't really get a firm grasp on it. Even though it's so small.
Can't really get a firm grasp on unless you literally crawl to Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And then realize that that's only, 20 miles?
Yeah, something like that.
20 miles is nothing.
Yeah, it's tiny. 20 miles is a blip in comparison from the distance between one side of Michigan to the other, the side of a world to the other.
So I'm going to bring us back to the point at hand. So I guess in a way, you are saying that beauty, like awe-inspiring beauty, gives us a glimpse at infinity.
Yes, the sublime. It's different than an aesthetic experience.
I like that because honestly, and this is something that I always tell I always tell my friends this, who like maybe struggling with something. I've been asked a couple times by a few people what I do when I am down the dumps, I guess you could say. When I might be struggling with something or when I'm not feeling good about things. And I tell them I think about things that are bigger than myself. I try to contemplate infinity. Think like more specifically, what helps me is I think about how vast the universe must be. Just thinking about that, like if I'm lying in bed and I think about that, I get completely lost in that thought. Or like if you're just like looking at the stars and like trying to get an idea of how big and vast that really is, I get completely lost in that idea. Just trying to think about infinity. And it just, I don't know, it kind of brings me down a little bit. It humbles me a little bit.
It does.
But also, pretty much, I forget about what it is that's troubling me. Whatever it is I'm worried about or stressing about, I forget about it for the time being. When I think about the vastness of time and space and whatnot, that's specifically what helps me. But I guess that kind of helps you prove the point that you're trying to make here. That, by... And those thoughts, they're beautiful to me, too. When I think about how big the universe really is, that is a beautiful thought to me.
Mm-hmm.
And... I don't know, I guess, yeah, like I equate that idea with infinity with beauty. And I get lost in that. I completely lose my sense of self. So yeah, that pretty much goes into proving your point here.
We have these two amazing experiences that they're totally unlike everything else in the history of human experiences. There's never been any other emotion or situation that could have caused anything that is more fundamentally powerful than these two experiences. One, the ability to exist without, for once, the curse or the blessing of humanity, depending on how you view it.
Opportunity.
Without knowledge of ourselves. And the second one, existence and the feeling that we are smaller than ourselves. These two these two emotional states, these two states of existence, they're often fleeting.
I'm not really sure what you mean when you say smaller than ourselves. What do you mean by that?
Well, imagine it this way: when we're feeling the sublime.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the sublime is the one experience where we feel at the same time a terror and a fear, but also an awe and an inspiration caused by infinity, or the infinite, the unknowable. We feel, we exist with a very accurate, or we perceive accurate knowledge of what we are and what our role in the universe is, until we have this experience. And then for once, we perceive ourselves as small, as tiny, as so small that we're not even capable of understanding how small we are. Think about that. You're too
and how
tiny.
Little you really know, how little you really understand. And the older I get, the more I learn this is true.
To know how dumb we are. And
The older I get, the more I learn this is true. That the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know.
Exactly.
And this past year, it's becoming clear to me. And that's why I do philosophy.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, it's unsettling, it's terrifying, it's nerve-wracking, and it leaves you with little to no certainty of knowing that you can't really fully comprehend anything, but it is beautiful and it is majestic and it is worth my time.
Selfless plug.
Yeah.
philosophy is good for you, kids.
Existing is kind of cool.
That's pretty
It's
sweet.
just, it's existing. It's just kind of fun to do.
But
you know?
that's what I mean by smaller than ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're getting at.
Right.
Then also, I would argue that in a way we are larger than ourselves.
Oh, that's true. If you're going to, but I mean, again,
Right.
for as small as those things are, there's still a whole lot bigger.
Oh yeah, definitely. But then we're also a part of it, which is a good segue.
Not yet. We're not done with
It's
the
like a
aesthetics.
perfect. Okay, fine.
Not yet.
Okay,
We'll end the clip. We'll end the night with this. No spoilers yet, but you'll see.
fair enough.
So, these two experiences, they are unlike anything else you will ever experience. And to a certain extent, that is, for me at least, the nature of art. That's how I know something is really good art, is that it causes these two experiences. So, for other philosophers, they say, well, there's something about the object that makes it able to communicate these experiences. So, for example, when I listen to, when I look at the painting, I don't remember the exact name off the top of my head. It's a picture of, I'm not particularly religious, but this picture hits me hard every time. It's a painting of Mary holding the Christ, the adult Christ, in her arms, and he's dead. And her face is just, it's beautifully painted. The thing is well done. It is honest. It is a work of art, obviously, of great art, and it sucks you in, like what we're talking about. It gives you this experience of being drawn in. There's a certain horror to it, though, that she's holding her dead son, and there was the promise of him being this all-powerful,
Son of God, yeah.
Exactly.
Their savior.
And so you feel her pain, and this situation is just, it becomes all too real. It's sort of, you can't handle it, but you can't not experience it.
But you said there, yeah, all too real. That's, I don't know, that's a simple thing to say, but that really does sum it up perfectly. Like if you think about it, if you take it out of context, it really is just paint on canvas. That's it, just a mixture of colors put on canvas, then make a picture.
Yeah. Or a sculpture. It's just, it's stuff that's in a particular
it's stuff that's
order.
just cut in a certain pattern, a certain way, and we may recognize that as being something else, but we recognize it as being so much more, just like too real almost. It's like it transcends reality.
You know what's funny?
Almost.
When I look at that painting, and there's sculptures of it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I like them, but not as much as the painting. I look at it, and I've come to the realization that I don't actually feel any emotions until after the fact, and then I attribute emotion to it. But when I'm looking at it, and when
Then
I
you're
first
just kind
see
of
it,
zoned out, basically.
I'm zoned out, and I'm in this state of feeling just this awe and this just experiencing this thing as it is. And later on, and then only after then that I've been brought back into the world, that I can't exist in this state of unknowing for too long. I get brought back in, dragged back into my own body, and then it's like a sock to the gut. Like I just feel like I've just been slugged with some kind of like raw emotional power, and it just gets me right then.
And honestly, yeah, for some people that quite literally is too much to handle.
Yeah. And we cry, we break down, or what have you.
And some people honestly don't, like, they don't like feeling those things, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. This is
Because it makes you feel more human.
the critical point of this philosophy
Mm.
is that, well, what about then? What does it say about art? So we have these things. We know this happens. What makes good and bad art? And what makes things art or not art? Well, art, obviously, something that is able to cause this experience. Now, what if there's an art or a thing that we want to call art? It meets all the criteria that we're going to put on art, or other philosophers put on art. Like Kant said, it has to be man-made. because it has to be intentionally made with the intent of
for
doing
that
this.
purpose.
Yes, it can't just be a natural thing. A natural thing can only be sublime because nature is so powerful and so infinite. We can't conceive of a thing without at the same time feeling that whoa, that shock and power.
So looking at stars, thunderstorm, a flower, a butterfly,
Yeah.
those are all, they are sublime, but they are not art.
Yeah.
Right.
Art
Okay.
can only be man-made for this theory.
Okay.
So then for other things that they don't fit as art. They're not capable of having this experience. There's not a beauty that matches with us, that allows it to speak to us. Well, there's two options. There's two cases. One, it's not actually art. And it's just a taste. If we like it, it's just a preference that we have. Which is nice, but there's nothing severe about it. And two, this thing where we haven't prepared ourselves for this experience. I mean, sometimes we're caught off guard. You'll be on the internet and you'll be, listening to music on Pandora or on Spotify Radio, or on Whale, and you're listening, and then all of a sudden you hear these opening notes, and you've never heard the song before, and then it starts to move into a more full sound, and as it grows, you lose grip on reality, and you just bask in this song or in this emotion, and it's an accident. So we're unexpecting, and then it hits us. That does happen. But when we are looking to find this experience, we don't. Have you ever gone to an art museum wanting to appreciate beautiful art and actively trying to?
Can't. Anytime that I would actually go there and try to, yeah, I end up just feeling like a phony, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm just sitting there trying to look like I'm pondering and looking deep in thought and whatnot. I'm just like, who am I kidding? I don't know what to take away from this. But if I just go there just to take it for what it is, then yeah, I may not be drawn to a lot of them. But then there are some where I'm just, whoa.
Why?
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 I don't know.
Well,
And
here's why.
not everybody is.
Here's what I
mind
think is
blown.
why.
Okay, why?
When you were talking earlier on, when you said, I've had this song or this thing that I want to show my friends because it's beautiful and it moves me, and I show it to them, and they just go, oh, that's cool. And then you just get mad, and you're like, why?
And
I have brought you light.
And you're just like, yeah, I've shown you the light. You are so. I just always feel like I always feel go into full blown hipster mode. I'm just like, you just don't get it, man. You just don't see what's really going on here.
Well, they don't.
You-
You're justified. You are justified. It's okay to
And
be a
saying
hipster,
that-
Bill.
All right.
Here's why. Think about it. When you go into the museum, when your friend shows you a song, you listen to the song. You look at the art. You're analyzing it. It's conscious. You're trying to experience it. It doesn't cause you. You try to cause onto it.
Oh my god.
Whenever we look at...
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Go to the beach. Go to the beach. Look at a sunset over the lake. Watch it. It is pretty. Sure, it's cool. But you know what? If you drive to the beach looking for a sunset...
You're going to be... Well, I mean, like, for one thing, you already know what you're looking for. It's almost like... It's almost like if you go there looking for a sunset, you've basically already seen it. Because you know what a sunset looks like. If you want, you can look at a video online of the sunset.
Yeah.
But...
You're waiting for it. You're expecting it.
Well,
and then nothing happens. The sun goes down.
Why is that, though? I mean, that's a good point, but why is that? And, like, I guess the theory could also be applied to, say, if you have a song that you absolutely love, that really touches you, but then if you listen to it 1,000 times, you don't really get that feeling anymore.
Because you're,
Maybe
following the lyrics,
you're
focusing on it. Or maybe it's unconscious, and you're just, like, listening to it in the background. You've heard it a million times, but you're still kind of, like, following the melody or, like, listening to
Yeah,
the
but at the
drums
same
kick.
time, like, yeah, because you go specifically looking for that beauty in it, looking for that magic, – you're not going to find it then.
If you drive to the beach hoping to see a good sunset. And as you sit there watching the sun go down, you try to forget everything else, and you don't try to look and appreciate the sunset. You just allow it to happen. You try to let everything go.
It's like if you go to a party looking for a hot chick, you're not going to find the love of your life.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good way.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
It's a good way to put it. You know, if you go to a party, just like looking for some hot chick to hit on or whatever.
You're overthinking it,
You're
man.
not. Well, for one thing, you're not going to find the love of your life that way.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now.
Could happen by accident though.
But I'm just saying, like, realistically.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it depends what like your, I don't know, intentions are. Like, if you're looking for,
Well, here's the
I
thing.
don't know.
What if love
I
and
mean,
beauty
there's like,
and art are similar?
huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, like, say, like, you could, say, like, if you see a girl who's really hot, you're only seeing, like, the outside of it. But it's not, I mean, you know, if you're, like, looking for a girl like that, then that's not really going to be beauty, I guess you could say.
That's the key. is
Because,
that you
because
have
I mean,
to be-
like in this case, like, when for it's an individual, beauty equates with love. You know what I mean?
you have to
if
be
you're looking for-
caused
if you-
upon
Right.
to be able to have these experiences,
Right.
exactly like love, or like beauty, or like appreciating the sunset, or the art, or the song that your friend shows you.
I'm gonna go home and cry now. I'm just gonna go. I don't know. Just like maybe just go on Pandora. Go to a station on Pandora that I never listened to, and just hope that well, no. If I go looking for it, then I won't find it. How am I supposed to find a beautiful song then?
You have to. There are ways. There's philosophers who said you can do this. There's like a little checklist you follow, and you can try to prepare yourself for the aesthetic experience.
A checklist.
Yeah, actually, there's philosophers who said that love is like an aesthetic experience, and another person can be a beautiful object that you can appreciate wholly in its entire form and everything about them.
Careful with the word object.
Well, yeah, it can be, that's when I say object. Again, I'm referring to the
Right.
art aesthetic object, not
Don't go tell your girlfriend you're my favorite thing that I own.
You're my favorite aesthetic object, babe.
You're the most beautiful thing that I look at on a day-to-day basis.
Oh my. Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about feminism here sooner or later. Otherwise, we're gonna get ourselves shot.
Post-feminism. Wasn't that with you that we had that conversation?
Yeah, you saw
Oh.
that pig? Don't Google it, kids.
What, post-feminism?
Yeah.
What, there's a picture? I didn't see this picture.
Yeah, there is. It's
Okay.
a joke.
Well, I was confused like when I heard that post-feminism. I was like, I didn't realize we were done with feminism already. Okay, let's see it. Okay. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Don't. Well, go ahead and Google it. It's not that bad, but just
Lol, lol, lol.
I
You'll
don't-
know which one we're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
I feel bad about myself now. I don't know.
Anyways,
But
but yeah, all in all, that's what we're getting to tonight. This was the big release, the big finale.
Yep. Speaking about contemplating infinity.
Let me wrap up, and then we can play this clip, and we'll be done for the night.
Okay.
So, yes, there is art. And what is art? Art is a thing that is beautiful and causes these experiences for us. At least for one theory. For the theory that I believe in.
Well,
I support.
according to Bo Burnham, art is what gay men do to get back at their fathers.
I guess that's true, too.
Yeah.
Or sewing. Or they can do like
Sewing?
graphic designing or whatever. I mean, they're not limited. I mean, they could do philosophy.
Yeah.
Fun fact, did you know Leonardo da Vinci was gay?
Oh, very gay. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
That's why he got in trouble with the religious authorities today.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact for anyone who didn't know.
Wasn't he also a what do you call it? Pagan. According to the Da Vinci Code, yeah.
I
I
think
don't
he
know
was-
if that's
I think
actually
he was
true or
actually
not.
like an atheist or something like that, or at least like an agnostic or something along those lines.
Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, I knew
He was
yeah.
controversial all over.
Yeah. Smart dude though.
So that's what art is. That's art is these things that cause these experiences. And so how do you know if something is good art? Well, allow yourself to experience it. And if it does truly move you,
Don't like try to be.
don't focus on the social implications. Maybe Nickelback is real art. Maybe it really is. And maybe there's, for whatever reason, we've all come to the conclusion.
We are just so jaded.
We are.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
we are. Maybe there's something to society that says, no, we can't appreciate this as beautiful. Because remember,
Because it's Nickelback.
yes, because it's not
Yeah.
good enough. It's not. It doesn't have enough complicated guitar licks, or it's not pretty enough, or it's because tries to sound angsty, but it's not deep enough, or it's not cool enough.
I think it's cool.
Maybe we should reconsider everything we've ever approached. Maybe when your friend shows you a bit of music, instead of trying to listen to it, maybe you should, just let it come to you.
Reapproach everything. Forget what you know. That's it. I'm starting over.
That's what philosophy does, and
Right.
maybe that's what we should do.
All right.
But no, here's
Right on.
a clip
Okay.
we want to show you. We'll end on.
Yeah, we're gonna end on this. Neil, is it deGrasse or Degrassi? I've heard it said both ways. I've always said deGrasse.
I'm not sure. I've always said DeGrasse as well, or
Okay,
DeGrasse actually.
deGrasse.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. All right. And this kind of plays in with infinity. It will get you thinking about infinity, and then you realize you just completely zone out into your own little world.
Well, we're signing off. I am Caleb,
And Bill.
and thanks for listening. Here's Neil deGrasse Tyson. Have a good night.
Astounding fact.
Whoa.
You can share with us about the universe.
Hold on. No, I done goofed. Hold on.
What is the most astounding fact you can share with us about the universe? The most astounding fact is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high-mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years. They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems, stars with orbiting planets. And those planets now have the ingredients for life itself. So that when I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. When I reflect on that fact, I look up. Many people feel small because they're small and the universe is big, but I feel big because my atoms came from those stars. There's a level of connectivity. That's really what you want in life. You want to feel connected. You want to feel relevant. You want to feel like you're a participant in the goings-on of activities and events around you. That's precisely what we are, just by being alive.
Have a good night.
From the Little Mac in Allendale to the Beckering family Carillon Clock Tower in downtown Grand Rapids, WCKS The Whale, reaching all corners of Laker Nation.